This is a sports catastrophe production.
Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter joining me. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe on this day. And on this day, May the 3rd, 1991, 30 years ago, one man's career took a tumble, one man's career took a tumble for another reason. It's the 1991 Wales Conference Final between the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Boston, the perennial team that usually got to get to the conference finals and subsequently won a trip to the Stanley Cup Finals, although they didn't win it in 88 and 90, among others, would take on these young, plucky upstarts from Pittsburgh, who some say didn't know what they were doing. I mean, Pittsburgh was really a terrible franchise and all that. They nearly got bankrupt several times. They nearly had to relocate several times. Like, Mario Lemieux was the savior with the number one pick in 1984, even though it was basically used to make sure Pittsburgh did it on purpose to make sure that they got the number one pick, so that they decided to bring in this stupid goalie by the name of Vincent Tremblay. It was terrible. All that. Anyway, Pittsburgh loved Mario Lemieux, and he loved them back. Pittsburgh made some good draft moves too. They also made some big GM moves, such as Tom Barrasso being traded from Buffalo to Pittsburgh for Doug Bodger. And also picking up Jaromir Jagr, 5th overall in the 1990 NHL draft, which is amazing. And Jagr made the team right off the bat. And of course, let's not forget that 1991 trade deadline trade that a lot of people still talk about to this day. Pittsburgh sending Hartford a few players and getting some big names back. Ron Francis, who was basically one of the best scoring forwards in Whalers history, went to the Penguins, alongside this defenseman by the name of Alf Samuelsson. Alf Samuelsson wasn't anyone special and all that, but basically he would make his name known for all the wrong reasons. So it's 1991. It's Alf Samuelsson and the Penguins against Boston and Cam Neely. Cam Neely would be a Boston icon with the likes of Ray Bourque and whatnot. Now, people forget Cam Neely did not start his career with the Bruins. He played for the Canucks for a few seasons before they traded him to Boston for Barry Pedersen, because they thought that the Canucks needed better scoring. So Pedersen, who was a Pederson, who was a decent player, point scorer, would help Vancouver. Not really, no. Vancouver would be saved by the fact that they drafted Trevor Linden and Pavel Bure in subsequent years. Basically, saved their butts. But anyway, Cam Neely went to Boston, and he was a man of honor. Who's the dead man who hit me with the salt shaker? Well, that was in me, myself, Dumb and Dumber, I guess it was. But anyway, Cam Neely was an icon. And he was a good goal scorer, too. Boston needed a goal scorer to complement Ray Bourque's defense and Andy Moak's goaltending. So basically, Alf Samuelsson made his whipping knee hit on knee on knee, which is unusual sometimes. But it ruined Cam Neely. It got Mike Milbury, who was coach of the Bruins, to basically decide that he needed some goons. So he basically called up some goons to start against the Penguins to get at Alf Samuelsson, but they failed miserably. The Penguins would go on to win the conference finals in 6, and then subsequently beat the North Stars in 6 to win the 1991 Stanley Cup Finals. Boston would not see another cup for 20 years. And worst of all, Cam Neely's career really went downhill after that knee injury. He was not the same guy. He was healthy and all that, but his knees started giving out on him. Kind of like Bobby Orr with the Bruins, as a Bruin. Cam Neely did score 50 goals in 44 games. Unfortunately, the record is not really recognized by the NHL because it was not in the first 44 games of the Bruins season. It was in 44 games that Neely played in. But they still counted in a sense. Cam Neely would retire after the 96 season with his knee problems. Who knows what he would have been like if he was stayed healthy and all that. But just like Bobby Orr and his knees, basically another Boston Bruin icon fell to bad knees. Samuelsson would actually show little remorse about his incident with Cam Neely. Neely didn't hold too much of a grudge on Samuelsson, but a lot of people did. All Samuelsson basically be branded as a dirty son of a bitch. He would do some more dirty hits, but in 1996, he would get his comeuppance as Ty Domi sucker punched off Samuelsson in a game between the Leafs and the Rangers. And some say that was nice because Alf Samuelsson finally got his. Although revenge is not really sweet. But anyway, this changed the fortunes of the franchise. The Bruins still were decent, but basically without Cam Neely scoring, they basically fell a little bit off the cliff. That's why they had to get Adam Oates in the 92 trade deadline. And Pittsburgh, well, they enjoyed a time at the top that was amazing. Don't you think? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Ado.